Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Dow Jones this morning? So bearing in mind today is midterm elections, so we could see some volatility. But I think let's just look at the price action for now. And the first thing to bear in mind is that we still have this divergence in play. So there's a higher high on the oscillator. And looking at price, we have a high and a lower high. So this is still divergence, and this is continuation divergence. In other words, we are expecting a move to the downside. Okay, so from a technical point of view, we are looking to break above this high. That would confirm the trend change to the upside on the daily. Okay, for now, we have a lower high in place. Now, these two bars, Friday's indecision bar, where the bears were in control, and then you got the bulls in control last night. Bit of a confusing setup on the daily. So we're going to break down to lower time frames now and have a look. The other thing to bear in mind is that we haven't had a crossover. We are pointing up, but we haven't had a crossover of these moving averages. Okay, and we are using the 200 as support and resistance at the moment. So let's just get down to some lower time frames. We'll see what's actually going on here. Okay, so first thing to notice is that we have bounced off the 200 EMA. Okay, so that's the first thing to notice. The second thing to take cognizance of is we do have a fairly strong trend line here. See, this was the original trend. Just move that across slightly. Okay, so there's a low, there's a low. We then bounced off it here, broke through, stayed below it, and we're now staying below this trend line. Okay, so that's just another warning bell that you need to pay attention to. There's many ways to look at it. That's the first way, that it was a wedge. And then the second thing is that it's just a broader wedge, or it is turning into a channel. Okay, so not very clear cut as to what's going on, but typically this was the original trend, had 1, 2, 3 touches on. We've broken through it. You would expect a test of that break and then a pullback. Okay, so that's still kind of the way I'm looking at things, although the moving averages are pointing to the upside, so anything's possible at the moment. So what we're going to do is just drill down to the hour. Let's get rid of the noise and have a look what happens here. So yesterday we had a fairly strong rally. Okay, so let me just tidy it up. So that is the current trend line, and even that is not quite. There it is there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 touches on this. Remember, we're on the 4 hour. And then if I draw a line on the top, you'll see it is pretty much almost a parallel line. So we have this range or channel to the upside. It is a bullish channel. We have had a crossover here. And as I said yesterday, you were looking for these fractional levels to break either way, which was going to give you direction. You can see you had the break, you had the retest, and that gave you the direction. Okay, so that played out quite nicely. What we're looking for now is to see what exactly is going to happen today. Now, bear in mind, midterm elections is happening now, so I would expect a bit of volatility, especially if the unexpected starts happening. Okay, so that's the one thing to watch out for is your political noise. But I think for me right now, looking at the charts, we could potentially be having a turnover here. In other words, a bit of a wedge break, which is there, which would bring us back down into this zone between these blue lines here. So pretty much bring us back down to the 25,244 area or 25,181 area. Okay, so mixed bag at the moment. You've got a channel, you've got a wedge, you've got so much happening here. And The other scenario that could play out is that we get a second move of that nature, bringing us all the way down to 25024 or 2500. Okay, so a lot's happening at the moment, and I think the easiest way to work your way through this is just get the ichimoku up, start with whatever time frame you're looking at, 15 or 12 minutes, whatever it is, and use that as your yardstick. So the trend is currently up. Okay, based on yesterday, trend is still up. We have had a crossover here, and that is a bearish crossover. Chicospan is in price. Okay, if it breaks through price, that adds to the bearish signal, and if the cloud crosses over, it adds even further to the bearish signal. So a lot of times on the 12 minutes, it doesn't really give you strong signals, but we definitely are kind of in a mini downtrend at the moment. So if you even drill down to a lower time frame, you'll see what I mean. So we're about to break through the cloud on the 6 minutes. Okay, and you can see how Chicospan has broken through price. We've had a crossover, we're pointing down, and we've got a twist. So on the lower time frames, you can see we have a lot of signals that are saying we're moving to the downside. I typically like to use the 1 hour on the Dow when I'm using ichimoku, and for me at the moment, we had a crossover yesterday. Okay, we came back to test, and we've broken the cloud for the second time. So this was the first time way down here where we broke the cloud. We never came back to test. We tested it here. We then rallied. Okay, and we've now broken through the cloud again. So would kind of expect us, for as long as we stay above Kijinsen, which is 25,370, I would argue that we have potential for a uptrend to continue. The other thing to bear in mind is that Chicospan has broken through as well. We've got a twist. So there's a lot of indicators here saying that the move is to the upside. Oscillator is also coming back down into the oversold territory. So yeah, I think European Open is going to be an interesting one. You may see us railing off this level. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at on the 1 hour. If we look at the 4 hour, we're very much in a sort of a bullish setup. We have a pin bar break here above this pin bar. Kijinsen and Tiginson had a crossover. We've broken through the cloud and price with Chicospan. We've got a twist, cloud is green. Okay, so we found some resistance here. I would really just expect some kind of a pullback. And the pullback, you can see how it lines up with these inside bars. So that's kind of the levels that I'd be looking for to get back in long. And this level here, I'm picking up off the flat cloud. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm really looking for some kind of a pullback to allow me to get in for the long. I have a feeling there's just a lot of noise that's going to come out today. It wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden there's a deal on the table with China and a whole lot of geopolitical noise that's going to come out, which is going to try and drive the markets during elections. So that's kind of what I expect happening. And we'll just have to wait and see what actually transpires. But this move could continue, or alternatively, this could just be the second attempt to get above this high, which is failing. Okay, so we rallied hard, sold off a bit, started to rally again, and right now we are looking at forming a bearish pin bar here. So there's still a way to go on that 4 hour bar, but that is a potential setup. So pretty much confusion if you're reading me correctly. So whether this is just a feeble attempt to get above here, which is now our second attempt higher, and we sell off, or whether it is just consolidation for another continuation above here, is anybody's guess right now. So the only thing to do is really trade off a moving average or trade off the ichimoku, where so long as price stays above the moving average or the clouds, Chikuspan, sorry, not Chikuspan, Tikinson or Kijinson, you're trending to the upside. Okay. And I think there is kind of diversions forming here as well, which is continuation diversions, okay? So it's low, high, low, low, lower, low. So it's diversions, and it is typically continuing in the direction it's been going, which is up. Okay, so that's kind of my view on this at the moment. I would definitely be watching. I mean, I wouldn't go lower than the half hour on this, and this area here would be what you'd be looking for. And also you can see how Dickinson's pointing up, and we've got oversold territory at the moment in the half hour. So I think what you need to do is just wait for the European Open, and you're more than likely going to find yourself a long entry off the cloud on the half hour, I would assume. So any one of these two levels here. So 25,346 or 25,400. And even 25,443. Okay, obviously your stop is going to need to be below the cloud, or you can trail it sort of below Kijinson here. Okay, so yeah, so I think a lot of confusion for me at the moment. So wait for what transpires in Europe. But if you're going to look at the ichimoku, just keep it on the half hour or the hour, and if you get a crossover of these two, of Kijinson and Dickinson, be very wary, just tighten up your stop, because that could indicate a move to the downside. If we continue in the fashion that we are continuing at the moment, then there could be a continuation from yesterday, which is possible. So right now it's a mixed bag. Ideally you want to see a bit of a pullback and then consolidation and then in for the long, and hopefully it is a extremely one direction day to the upside. Okay, but anyway, that's me for the moment, and it is really looking pretty interesting. And I think most people that play the Ichimoku only would be waiting for a break above here to get their confirmation that the trend has reversed. Okay, so they'd be looking for 25,740 to break, and that would give them confidence that this move is to the upside. At this stage, the higher time frames are looking a little bit confused. Okay, lower time frames are looking pretty bullish, but your 4 hour is looking like range territory. Okay, so anyway guys, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.